All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the I'm Dealing With. Again, I'm Dealing With. I'm your host, Sean. I'm just going to catch you up with everything that has been going on within the last month. As according to the teaser, you have noticed or you've heard, I talked about that we would be going live first portion of spring, which is basically right near the end of March. And needless to say, we did go live, and we are doing our podcast. And right now, I'm Dealing With can be found on several different platforms. We are on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, and Radio Republic. And we can also be found on Anchor as well. We have several different things that we have already uploaded to those sites. Several different podcasts ready to go. We've had a couple teasers. We've also talked about our most recent as of Monday, and we upload and put up a new podcast every Monday and every Friday to make sure that you have excellent content, something to listen to, something to chew your teeth on, chomping at the bit, a little beef jerky here and there, because we all, especially in this day and time right now, where we're at with the coronavirus, COVID-18, a lot of people are consuming content. It's very important that they're consuming content. So our goal here at I'm Dealing With is to make sure that not only are we putting out content, but we're putting out content that helps you where you are. We understand that there is plenty of people that are struggling in this day and time right now. Everybody from all walks of life. We all know businesses are shutting down. People are losing their jobs. They're getting laid off. I heard about one company out of the Eastern Seaboard who has laid off roughly 3,000 people and or fired 3,000 people and let them go. And there are businesses that are unsure whether or not, even after COVID is over with, whether or not they're going to even reopen. So this is changing the whole dynamic of what's going on, and it's affecting everybody, no matter what walk of life, whatever social economical values you come from, where you stand, whether you come from a poverty or you're the upper class. It is affecting everyone. And it is important that, number one, you stay safe. That's the most important thing. You stay safe. And in one of the earlier podcasts, I talk about safety. And I believe it's entitled, So You're Safe Now. And in that safety, we must make sure that in everything that you're doing currently and what you plan on doing in the future, that you stay safe. That you find and, you monitor your habits. You monitor your habits with your distancing. And we talk about social distancing, but in all honesty, socially, we're on Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Byte. There's all these different platforms that we're not socially distancing ourselves. That's why they call it social media. So in the social media mindset, we're not distancing ourselves, but we are physically distancing ourselves. So that is very important that we must understand. There's a difference between the social and the physical. And right now, where the focus is the physical distancing. So make sure you do that. Also, it's imperative that you make sure you wear your mask. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are listening, make sure you wear your mask. Make sure you have some type of gloves on, and make sure you keep that stuff washed. If you go on several different sites, you can see how long the COVID actually lasts on different types of materials, whether it's metals, brass, copper, chrome, whatever that is. It talks about different types of fabric. It talks about cardboard, how long it lasts on any one of these surfaces, as well as your clothes. So when you really read that, you start thinking to yourself, is it really worth going out, and trying to sneak out for a little bit? And to be honest with you, it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it unless there are items that you need. It's imperative that you have to get those items. I get it. It makes sense. You do what you have to do for your family. On the other side of things with I'm dealing with, we have many different programs that we've been offering on the podcasting environment. The most recent one, we talked about the Curb. That was as of Monday. It's called the Curb. And sometimes we make decisions, we do things that cause us to be stranded on the curb. Sometimes we say things, we make advancements, make hasty decisions that causes us to get kicked to the curb. And then other times there are situations in life where how we say life happens, and life puts us on the curb. So that podcast is really talking about your life, where you are, where you stand, and the posture you must take when you're put on a curb. Prior to that, I talked about, there's a couple different things that I talked about. You know what, let me look this up because, I've got a couple of them going right now. And as you know, today's Friday. I have another one episode coming up that'll be loaded within probably the next couple hours. So again, the Curb was the most recent. And then prior to that was called Shh, Don't Tell Nobody. And in that podcast, we talk about, many of us have dealt with private issues. We've made some bad decisions. We've made some mistakes. We've made choices that probably weren't the best. We maybe figured in our mindset that this works for me and I'm rolling with it. But then later on you find out that wasn't the best decision. And then you get into, man, I don't want my stuff to be blasted. I don't want my stuff on social media. I don't want my stuff to be texted out. I don't want to be put in an email. So that's why it's entitled, Shh, Don't Tell Nobody. And you find out that when you're living in that type of capacity, when you're living in that world where you are who you are, there's nothing wrong with being who you are. But in the decisions that we make, we worry many times about what is going to be said, the backlash. So in that particular podcast, I go into basically doing what I call the Eminem factor. Wherein, if you notice in Eminem's movie many years ago, near the last portion of the movie, he took his power back. And I'm telling you right now, here's how do you take your power back? And how he took his power back was near the end of the segment in this rap battle. He talked about everything that he was, everything he didn't have, how he was poor, how he was this, that, and the other. And yeah, I might have did this. And yeah, I was broke this way. And yeah, I might have not have had shoes. And yeah, I was such. And that's how he started. And he was killing himself in this rap. And what happened was, by the time it was time for the next person to say their piece, they had no ammunition. So in Shh, Don't Tell Nobody, I start off by taking my power back, by taking the ammunition away from those that actually have the guns. Because there's nothing wrong with people having a rifle or a gun. And I mean that, not the physical gun, but that mental gun that messes with your mind. But my goal is not to give you the ammunition to turn around and point it at me and persecute me and put me down and this, that, and the other. Because, at the end of the day, yes, I made this decision. Yes, I messed up. Yes, I didn't do this right. Yes, I didn't handle that right. Yes, I might have lied. Maybe I might have cheated. And whatever it is that you are going through, when you just go, I did all that. But you know what? I'm willing to make a change. What was is what was. But now what is what is. Okay, so don't tell nobody is dealing with that. And I've already talked about so you're safe now, dealing with safety. Prior to that was the discovery. That was episode number 1, the discovery, and that's where I talk about going and being in kindergarten and being mishandled and misused. So we're doing plenty of things right now that we're going to be launching. There'll be more videos like this and more so, where we'll be having guests on to help us in helping you. Again, at the end of the day, the goal that I'm dealing with is to help you, man. Man, I'm talking to you, whoever you may be. It doesn't matter what demographic you come from, what your lifestyle is. I don't care what your orientation is. My job is to speak to the man inside of you, to let you know that you're not alone. I mean, look at where we're at right now in this environment, in this mindset, in this pandemic. We're all on the same playing field. Nobody right now is sitting on the bench. Nobody right now is serving Kool-Aid to everybody. We're all on the playing field. Rich, poor, young, old, black, white, Mexican, it doesn't even matter. We are all on the same playing field, and it's hitting the whole world. So if a pandemic can do this, think about the private issues that you may have. I'm here to let you know you're not alone. It's what you do from here on out that matters. It's what you do. Don't sit on the playing field. Don't sit on the bench. Come out and play. Be who you are. You are who you are. But the most important thing is to get help. Talk to somebody. We all have issues. We all have problems. We all have made bad decisions. We all have lost a check or two. Everybody at some point in time have dealt with money problems, marital problems, relationship problems, problems with their spouse, problem with their children, problem with their significant others, boyfriends, girlfriends. Doesn't matter. Maybe you're dealing with a health crisis, and we're all dealing with a health crisis. My question to you is, how are you going to handle it? What kind of posture will you take? What type of attitude will you take in this environment right now? Stay tuned. More content coming to you at ImDealingWith. Again, like I said, we can be found on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Republic, and again on Anchor. I'm Dealing With. I'm your host, Sean. Stay tuned.